Modern Real Estate Practice, page 388. Page 389. Unit 20. Land Use Controls and Property Development. Learning Objectives. When you have finished reading this unit, you will be able to explain the concept of police power and the provisions under which it protects the public health, safety, and welfare. Explain zoning, ordinances, permits, and property use. Define building codes as they relate to the requirements and restrictions placed on construction standards. Explain the issues and regulations involved in subdivisions. Explain non-governmental private land use restrictions, covenants, conditions, and restrictions, CC&Rs. Describe the various laws and agencies which regulate land sales and define the following key terms: buffer zone, building code, certificate of occupancy, comprehensive plan, conditional use permit, covenants, conditions, and restrictions, CC&Rs, deed restrictions, density zoning, developer, enabling acts, Interstate Land Sales Full Disclosure Act, ILSA, non-conforming use, planned unit development, PUD, plat map, restrictive covenants, subdivider, subdivision, variance, and zoning ordinances. Page 390. Over the years, the government's policy has been to encourage private ownership of land, but this does not always mean that owners can do whatever they want with their properties. In most areas of the United States, local governments have developed comprehensive planning that restricts how land may be used, with the goal of orderly and planned growth. Real estate professionals must be knowledgeable about local land use restrictions in order to avoid showing a buyer a property that is not suitable for the buyer's intended use, especially when a buyer is looking for a property to develop for a specific commercial or residential use. The buyer of a home within a subdivision or planned unit development that is subject to a residential community association will also be subject to limitations that appear in the private deed or specific rules that are created and enforced by the association. Even an individual parcel of real estate may be subject to restrictions that a prior owner has included in the deed or a document that has been made part of the property's chain of title. While no one expects real estate professionals to become experts in land use, they should be aware of these issues and be able to direct their clients to appropriate sources of additional information. Land use controls. Land use is controlled through public and private limitations, as well as through the direct ownership of land by federal, state, and local governments. According to the U.S. Department of Agriculture, USDA, Over 60% of the land area of the United States is privately owned. The federal government owns more than 28% of the land. State and local governments own 9%, and over 2% is Indian trust land. These percentages change very little over time, although in Alaska, a large portion of federal land has been transferred to the state or placed in native private ownership. A complete report by the USDA on major uses of land in the United States can be found at www.ers.usda.gov/media//EIB 14J_1_PDF. Here you will learn about how property development and use is regulated at every level. Government ownership. Government-owned land is used for national parks and forests, military bases, federal office buildings, schools, museums, state parks, government buildings, and municipal parks and buildings, as well as streets, highways, and bridges. Beyond direct ownership of land, government controls on property use range from regulation of the use and disposal of hazardous materials by the federal government to the design, construction, and type of buildings that are permitted at the local level. The police power of government is the source of its authority to create regulations needed to protect the public health, safety, and welfare. Through enabling acts, states delegate to counties and local municipalities the authority to enact ordinances in keeping with general laws. The degree to which government bodies seek to regulate land uses varies and is often a reflection of the priorities of local residents. While there may be little objection anywhere to regulations that control noise, air, and water pollution, the topic of population density can elicit strong reactions. Page 391. The Comprehensive Plan. Local governments, municipalities, and counties establish development goals by creating a comprehensive plan. The comprehensive plan, also known as a master plan, is not a regulatory document, but a guide that tries to anticipate changing needs. The comprehensive plan usually is long-term, perhaps 20 years or longer, and often includes a general plan that can be revised and updated more frequently, B, plans for specific areas, and C, strategic plans. Systematic planning for orderly growth usually considers the following elements. Land use. Determining how much land may be proposed for residence, industry, business, agriculture, traffic and transit facilities, utilities, community facilities, parks and recreational facilities, floodplains, and areas of special hazards. Housing needs of present and anticipated residents, including rehabilitation of declining neighborhoods, as well as new residential developments. Movement of people and goods including highways and public transit, parking facilities, and pedestrian and bikeway systems. Community facilities and utilities such as schools, libraries, hospitals, recreational facilities, fire and police stations, water resources, sewerage, waste treatment and disposal, storm drainage, and flood management. Energy conservation to reduce energy consumption and promote the use of renewable energy sources. The preparation of a comprehensive plan involves surveys, studies, and analyses of housing, demographic, and economic characteristics and trends. The plan typically is drafted by a planning commission and approved by the city council or other governing body following a period for public comment at hearings held for that purpose. A municipality's planning activities may be coordinated with other government bodies and private interests to achieve orderly growth and development. In practice, after the Great Chicago Fire of 1871 reduced most of the city's downtown to rubble and ash, the city engaged planner Daniel Burnham to lay out a design for Chicago's future. The resulting Burnham plan of orderly boulevards linking a park along Lake Michigan with other large parks and public spaces throughout the city established an attractive and workable urban space. The plan is simply being implemented today. Zoning ordinances implement the comprehensive plan and regulate and control the use of land and structures within designated land use districts, in part by separating conflicting land uses. If the comprehensive plan is the big picture, zoning provides the details that carry out the comprehensive plan. Although no nationwide or statewide zoning ordinances exist, the federal government and the state regulate land use through coastal management, environmental laws, and scenic easements. Zoning affects such things as permitted uses of each parcel of land, lot sizes, types of structures, and building heights.